Moving on to the next question, Ms. Charmaine, it would be with you, and then, of course, eventually, Honorable Prime Minister can add up to it. Client has asked, are there any new countries added in the list of visa-free travel? Or I would explain the question better if I can. Will there be any other countries added in the visa-free list, or is the cabinet in talking terms with any other potential?
So, Rita, I think the Prime Minister may be best placed to answer this question.
Perfect.
Yes, the answer is yes. There are a few countries in which we are having negotiations. In fact, Ghana, as an example, we thought that we had visa-free access with Ghana, only to be told that that is not the case. And they have just recently advised that they put in the necessary systems in place to facilitate visa-free access. So we are actively expanding our list. Presently at 165, and the whole idea is to ensure that we achieve an unassailable lead and to demonstrate to the entire world that we have easily one of the strongest passports in the world.
It's always a good news at the end of the day.
Sure, pleasure.
Ms. Charmaine, you would like to add something? Your passport becoming stronger doesn't really mean that it will become more expensive. There are already so many programs and options for the clients under this CBIU Antigua. So I'm assuming that more the passport becomes stronger, the more people apply, and the flexibility is there as well.
Correct, and let's not forget the native-born Antiguans as well. We benefit from our passport being stronger. And I just really want to underscore that this government is extremely responsive. We know that we operate in a dynamic industry, and so we are constantly looking at ways to improve our offerings on this program. So you can always expect good news to come out from this program.
I'll add here too that the strength of our passport is not seen exclusively from the standpoint of the amount of visa-free countries that our citizens could access, but perhaps most importantly, the integrity of our program. So we pride ourselves as operating easily the most transparent and accountable CIP program in the world. And again, no exaggeration. I mean, we publish routinely information on the citizenship program. We, however, keep the names of the beneficiaries confidential for security reasons, but outside of that, every cent collected and even how the funds are applied, how they are spent, we give an account half yearly to the Parliament of Antigua and Barbuda, and we even publish the information within the local media. So the integrity of the program is very important for us. And also the safeguards. Now, our passport, citizenship for that matter, is protected by the Constitution. So unless the individual obtains citizenship by fraudulent means, the citizenship is protected by the Constitution and cannot be frivolously revoked.
Thanks for clarification, Prime Minister, because a lot of people are concerned that will this citizenship, can it be revoked? And I think this is very important.
And even if someone would have obtained the passport through frivolous means, it cannot be automatically revoked. There is a process. It has to go to a tribunal, and the matter has to be litigated via the court. Very lengthy process, which in many instances would have taken years. So again, to revoke a citizenship is extremely difficult.
Yeah, because the general perception, what people in the Middle East always have, and which Charmaine clarified very successfully, is there's no different categories of citizenship. It's the same category, and it's
Correct.
the only right. And this is very important. You clarified that the citizenship cannot be revoked unless they had misrepresented their own application, which was the very basis of granting them citizenship.
And even there, where there's mischief, it has to go through a process. There's no automatic revocation. And again, you have to understand the population of Antigua and Barbuda, the population mix. It's a multicultural society. Let's say, citizens by birth, they're in the minority. Most of our citizens are actually naturalized citizens. So we could not pursue any policy or policies that will put the majority of the population at risk of losing their citizenship. So those rights are firmly enshrined within the Constitution of the country.
Excellent.
Thank you so much, Honorable Prime Minister. Thank you, Mr. Imran Farooq. We move on to the next question. Under what circumstances an application is rejected? Ms. Charmaine, over to you, please, for this one.
I like that question. Well, the Act actually clearly outlines under which circumstances that a file will be denied. If it is that they provided false information, they're deemed a security risk to the country. We have, so the conditions are outlined clearly in the Act. Additionally, if you are denied a visa to a country to which we have visa-free access, that also will make you ineligible. Well, what I could tell you about our denial process, it really has evolved. And again, it's really testament to us listening to the industry. I think before we would just drop the hammer on you. Now we are seeking additional information. If something comes up during the due diligence assessment, we will seek to get more clarity from the applicant before a decision is taken. So what you will get is a really transparent and objective process. We're not just, we wouldn't just deny an application willy-nilly. It has to be that it falls under the criteria that's outlined in the legislation. Prime Minister, I don't know if you want to add anything.
Yes, please.
For instance, the denial of a visa. Now, someone, you know, at a particular stage in life who may not have had sufficient resources could be denied a visa, and then that person could have grown and become a multi-millionaire and will be eligible for a visa. Now, such a denial, I mean, someone would have made an application and would have had such a denial. I mean, that cannot be cause to deny them the citizenship. Now, if on the other hand, the denial would have been recent and because of some security concerns that, you know, one of our partner countries would have denied the application, then clearly we cannot provide the opportunity for them to circumvent the process. So what Charmaine says, you know, there has to be some level of risk analysis to determine whether or not that person will be eligible.
Just one concern, Charmaine. When I know the most of the applicants get through, but in the event when somebody had have a bad history and they get rejected, they do not get clear denial reasons. Now, nothing can be done there because you're bound with an agreement of the due diligence company. The reason for rejection is something which is, I know that it's 1% of the cases which gets rejected. So there, nothing, a revisit is required or cannot be done because of the agreement with the due diligence companies.
Hi, Charmaine. Okay, Charmaine seems as though she has an issue there. But, you know, generally speaking, you know, wherever there's derogatory information, we do not process those applications. You know, we have had 1 or 2 cases though in which individuals may have been involved in minor infractions in which they do not represent any significant security risk. And we have reviewed them, we have processed them. But you know, if anyone is involved in money laundering, terrorism financing, or any egregious financial act, then clearly they would not be eligible. And as far as practicable, we seek not to process applications with any form of derogatory information. So if we were to process, it will be on an exceptional basis and maybe due to some minor infraction.
Sure.